This is Star Ray. I'm back and still talking about spirituality, religion, and what brought me to this space of yearning for God more than I ever had. I've had to deal with confidence issues, you know, being in a relationship that was not only verbally abusive but physically abusive as well as mentally abusive. The physical abuse. I've never been a punk or soft or allowed anyone to put their hands on me without, I'm a warrior without making them feel me per se. And I'm a fighter as well. So um, I know how to fight. So there's a difference with just saying that you're a fighter. I'm not a drama filled type person. I don't like drama. Um, but if you back me into a corner, I will defend myself. So I went through this stage in this relationship that I was in, um, where it began to be physical. And this one time, it had gotten so bad to where he actually knocked my teeth loose. And even today, I had to build my confidence back up, from having this gap in the bottom of my teeth. I've always had a gap, but not this big, and this fight that we had, um, he had knocked my teeth loose, and now my gap is a lot bigger than it was. So I've embraced it. I'm still beautiful. I don't let it bother me. I'm still learning to, just deal with it. It is what it is. It doesn't make me or break me. So yeah. And with that being said, that relationship was a huge part of why I cried out to God. And not only that relationship, but my finances and, my life just being, I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride. So, to pick up where I left off in my last video, going back before Christ, my studies and knowing that leaning and depending on God is all that I had to do at that moment, you know. So I did this, just that. I reached out to God. I yelled, God, help me. I cried out to God, um, and really know that God heard my cry and began to really help me and help me understand who God really is, So I went back before Christ and began to meditate and pray a lot more and read scriptures, and it would give me strength, and I would hunger for it. I would wake up with it. I would go to sleep. I took like 3 months and literally stayed in. I used to go to the club a lot, me and this guy that I was with, and we would go to the club all the time, you know. And in this world, it is full of good and evil. It's filled with that. So I had experienced a little bit of both going out into these places. And at this point in time in my life, I just had to stop in my tracks and stand still and embrace God and love God more. Fall in love with God, and not put so much emphasis or energy into this relationship that I was in. So I went on and began to study more. And when I went back before Christ, God took me back so far as, I didn't go too deep into dinosaurs, those sort of things before it was even humanity, before it was even any humans on earth. Let's just say that. But I do remember God taking me back.